Oscar Hammerstein was a teacher of mine. I was 11, 12 years old. He sort of stabilized me by teaching me what I wanted to learn about writing songs.
Yes, Stephen Sondheim, the greatest living writer of Broadway musicals, was taught by the legendary Oscar Hammerstein of Rodgers and Hammerstein. He once inscribed a photograph to you.
Yes, he, just before he was dying, and he signed it for Stevie, my friend and teacher.
Gee, Officer Krupke, we're very upset. We never had the love that every child ought to get.
Sondheim wrote the lyrics to West Side Story when he was just 25, and later on to Gypsy, and the words and music to shows that have pushed the boundaries of musical theater for decades. But on this visit, we didn't discuss musicals. We talked teachers.
Teachers are so underpaid. Why else are they teaching? They have to love it.
The man who wrote Children Will Listen for Into the Woods says teaching is a sacred profession.
Everybody takes teachers for granted because everybody goes to school. And I think not enough thought is given to how much teachers do and how hard they work. A teacher can make you feel more wanted than your parents if your parents are in different kinds of parents.
For the past 8 years, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts has given a dozen or so educators the Kennedy Center Stephen Sondheim Inspirational Teacher Award. See the guy on the couch? That's Freddie Gershon. He's an entertainment attorney, and he and his wife Myrna funded the award in Sondheim's honor. Each inspired teacher receives $10,000. Have you been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, by any chance?
No.
Well, we have. Far from the lights of Broadway, nestled in Tennessee's Great Smoky Mountains, is Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. So you went to this high school?
Yes, I did. This is my old alma mater.
Tracey Raines, a 2015 Sondheim Inspirational Teacher, has been walking these halls for a long time.
We're ignoring all the middle area.
This honors English teacher has a reputation for being tough. There's a quote on your blackboard.
Kites fly highest against the wind, not with it.
What's that from?
That's Winston Churchill. You must struggle or you will never rise. You will stay at exactly the level that you start at.
And you're okay emphasizing the struggle.
Yes, I am. It is a struggle, and I try to get that through to them.
I never thought by recommending her that I would get any reward.
14 years ago, she got through to Chelsea Hayes.
Miss Raines, I wrote this sentence. Is this good enough? And she said, well, it can be better. And I said, well, I'm not sure how to make it better. And she said, well, let's think through this.
I'm trying to get a sense of exactly what kind of tough she is. Is she sort of Simon Cowell tough?
She has a tendency to come off very short if you're complaining or if you think you cannot do something, because her belief is if you think you can't do it, you're not going to do it.
I think that approach that says we need to make everybody feel good at the expense of honest accomplishment actually diminishes students' self-esteem. I've told students, when I tell you to do this again and again, you should see that as a compliment because it means I know you can do this better.
When Stephen Sondheim wanted to do better in 9th grade Latin, do you remember your first good teachers?
I sure do.
He approached his own inspirational teacher.
Her name was Lucille Pollock. And after the first class where she was talking about nouns and adverbs and adjectives, I realized I had no idea what she was talking about. So I went to her and I said, would you tell me? And I spent one of those afternoons that opens up the skies. By the end of that afternoon, I'm not exaggerating, I was already 3 weeks ahead of the class. I mean, she taught me so much.
Chelsea Hayes had tougher challenges. She was raised by her mother, who struggled to make ends meet. Your family was getting fed from a food bank at one point, right?
Yes. All we knew is we had to keep our house. We had to make the house payment because we had nowhere else to go.
She says she knew that education was her only way out. She visited Mrs. Raines before school started, at lunch, and after school. Then, after Chelsea's mother was left bedridden from a car accident, Tracey and her husband Carl filled in.
I basically have two moms.
Right.
You know, And that's just how it's been. And so my mother's very thankful.
Did it feel for you and your husband like you had a child now?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't have a child of my own who isn't Chelsea, but I know that I couldn't love a child more than I do Chelsea.
Do you remember
All these years later,
This is
Tracey
my
Rains has
2008
continued to
senior
mentor
yearbook,
Chelsea. And when Chelsea did graduate as high school valedictorian, Tracey took the photo. She and Carl were also there at her graduation from Duke University and from the University of Kentucky College of Law. Because of all that support, Chelsea nominated her favorite teacher for the Sondheim Inspirational Award and the $10,000 prize that goes with it. Can I ask, what are you going to do with the money?
You can ask. I've paid for her bar exam, and we're going to New York.
I don't know if you know this, but Tracey Rains used a good part of her prize money to pay for Chelsea's bar exam.
Oh my God. I mean, don't make me cry on camera. Talk about selflessness, gee whiz. That's what a good teacher is.